All right, so this is our live math for March 2nd on fractions and decimals. So, Benicia, since you are here and you watch the videos, what questions do you have about fractions or decimals? You don't know? Okay. Was there anything that when you watched the videos you were like, what? Hi. Okay, do you remember what that was? Okay, so, okay. So is it all fractions or just like making decimals into fractions? All fractions. Okay. All right. So let's get started with straight up fractions. Let's see. All right. Pull this up. So what I'm doing is I'm pulling up the lesson just to go over what it went over. All right. So can you tell me what a fraction is? As best as you can in your own words. What's a fraction? Okay. Okay. So let's think about a pizza. Okay. I ordered a pizza pie and it's cut into 8 pieces. When all the pieces are together, that is a whole pizza. But if we take away one of those pieces, we have 7 pieces out of the 8. That is a fraction. It's a part of something, but not the whole thing. Okay? So let's say, you know how graham crackers have like that split down the middle? Okay, so I have a whole graham cracker. That is a whole. If I break it in half and I have 2 pieces, what does that make it? A fraction, because we have 1 piece, 2 piece to make 1 whole piece. Good. So, let me pull up my blank Google Doc. Okay, now I need to share my screen with you too. I have 2 shares are going. All right, can you see the Google Doc? Okay, perfect. So, I got to annotate. And we're going to, where's my pen? I do already have a pen. Alrighty. So we're going to go with the graham cracker. This is my graham cracker. Oh my, that poor graham cracker must have had a very bad spill in aisle 2. All right, we'll put some little speckles on here. All right, does that look like a graham cracker? If you squint the right way and use your imagination? Okay, so is this a fraction or a whole? A whole. Now, if I were to break this graham cracker like this, so I broke it where the squiggles are, how many pieces do I have? And look at the squiggles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to draw a little smaller down here. So this is a smaller version of what I have up there. You see I took the one hole and I made it into 4 pieces, right? You with me? Okay, so I can call this pieces, or I can call it good. So because they're parts. So pieces or parts. All right. Now I have my 4 parts of my whole. And I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to eat these 2. And then I'll save these 2 for later. Okay, so how many pieces am I eating? 2. And how many pieces are there in all to make a whole? 4. So I'm eating 2/4 of the graham cracker. And then how many did I save? And how many is it again to have the total, the whole? 4. So that's 2/4 too. So what would happen if I added 2 plus 2? Good. And then I carry over the fraction 4. And that says 4/4. And what's another way to say 4/4? Give you a hint. Look over here. It's a whole, 1 whole, because it is equal. All right, we're going to try another one. You with me so far? Okay. All right. Now I'm going to try a pizza. And this is going to look just as wonderful, if not more so, than the graham cracker. Oh, look at that circle. All right, now I'm going to do this. How many halves are there? 2. And if I ate this half over here, how would I write that? One over, that would be a whole. So if I ate this half, I'm only having 1 of how many sides? 2. So I had half. Now if I ate both, what would that be? A whole, good. Or if I wanted to write that in a fraction, what would that be? Not 1 and 1, because there are how many sides? It's a whole, so how many sides are there? 2, so it'd be 2/2 to get 1 whole. Good, good. All right, now, all right, gonna make it tricky. You can use your finger to count. Count how many triangles there are. 6. So what fraction would I write to show 1 whole? 6 over, ooh, look at that 6. 6/6, very good. 6 over 6 because there are 6 pieces, and when all 6 are together, they make one whole pizza. Now, I'm not that hungry today. I'm going to change my color. Not that hungry, so I'm going to have just one piece of pizza. And Mrs. Noonan is not really hungry either, so she's going to have one pizza. And you are very hungry because you just went to dance class. So you are going to have 2 pieces of pizza. That's oh, perfect. All right. So, how many pieces of pizza were eaten? 4. And how many were there total? Good. How many pieces of pizza were not eaten? Over how many total? Good. And how many pieces of pizza did I eat? So how would I write that? Good. And how many did you eat? Very good. Perfect. All right. Let me stop annotating. Okay. All right. So the only thing that we didn't cover were ways to say it. So let's see here. How do you, other than 1 over 2, what would be another way to say this? No, but that is a good observation because that kind of does remind you of dividing, right? This is 1 over 2 or 1/2. 1/2. And let's try this one. This is 2 over 6 or so just like this one where we said its name, this is 2, and then this was half, this is 6. Like when we do decimals, you know how we have tenths, hundredths, it's like that. This is 2/6. How about this one? Say its name first. So this is very good. All right, how about this one? Good job. All right. Now, do you know the names? So the number that goes up here has a name, and the number that goes down here has a name. This name starts with an N, and this name starts with a D. Denominator, good. That's a really big, tricky word. And the top? Numerator, very good. I know, they're tricky. It's okay. I promise my handwriting is not this terrible. I'm just not used to writing on a mouse. Oh my goodness, this is bad. All right, so a way to remember this is like number, and the first number always says its name, so there's a bunch of N's there, and the denominator is at the bottom. So how can you remember numerator? And how can you remember denominator? The bottom. Very good. Very good. So, yeah, we'll just clear. All right. So, which is the numerator and which is the denominator? What number is that? Good. And the number is? Very good. All right, let me see if I can have you, well, you're not in my Zoom, so you couldn't. Okay. So I'm going to say the word, and then you tell me how I would write that. So, for example, I say 1/2, and then this is what it would look like. Okay? So 2/4. How would I write that? Okay. Good. How about 1/3?
Hi, Sierra, are you there?
Good. Very good.
Hello. Can you hear me?
All right.
Sierra? I can't hear you.
Do-do. Do-do-do-do-do.
Sometimes when you plug in headphones at work, I'm going to try logging out and logging right back in because I can't hear you.
Ooh, okay. So now we're going to do some comparing. So there's 1. There's 2. Here's
Can you hear me now?
3. And then here. Okay. So pretend that these are all the same size and they are perfect circles.
Yeah, just press leave me.
How many pieces is in the first circle? I'm good. It is the whole, and I'm just numbering these so that we could call them 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 is a whole. Good. What about 2? So is it just 1/2, or are there 2 halves that make a whole? Good. And how we say that, if it's 1, I'm going to write over here so you can see. If it's 1, it's a half. If it's 2, it is halves. Yeah, I know. It's like extra spelling you have to learn. It's just an extra dose of vocabulary and spelling this week. Okay, so we have 2 halves. All right, now how about number 3?
Did you think about trying headphones? Because sometimes they say put headphones in.
So how many pieces are there?
You have any?
3. So this is,
Try to say it's like the one.
yes, how many thirds? 3 thirds. Good, good.
Sierra's
All right, how about number 4? Good job. Very good. All right, now let's take a closer look at number 2 and number 4. Okay, I'm going to change my color here. So number 2, this is the most delicious pizza in the world. So we ate 1/2. And this pizza, I want it to be exactly like this one. But this one was 2/2 and this one is 4/4. So what do I have to do to this one to make it look like this one? Good, yes. So with this one, it was like one jumbo piece. I'm gonna write 1JP, one jumbo piece. And then this one, I just had to eat 2 regular pieces. And that is the same. Good job. Good, good. Do you have any questions about what we did so far? No? So remind me, what is the top number called? And what's the bottom one called? The denominator. Good, good. Just remember num and d. That's pretty much all you have to remember. All right. Good deal. Let's go here. Close that up. 20. Okay, analyzing fractions. Okay, we did that. Okay, we kind of already did that. Okay, now we're going to try to use some fraction bars. So a fraction bar, we're going to make these rectangles as close in size and shape as I can. Okay, so again, we're using our imagination cap, and these are identical rectangles, which means they are the same. Okay, I'm going to change my color to pink. Okay, and in these fraction bars, this one I'm going to cut into fifths. And I'm going to abbreviate 5 and then THS is fifths. So there's 1 piece, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do you see it's in 5 pieces, but how many lines did I draw? 4. That's why we always have to count what's beside the line, because if we count the lines, we're going to be 1 short. So it's kind of deceiving, which means it's tricky. So we always have to count the spaces themselves, not the lines, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to make this one tenths. And again, I'm abbreviating or making it shorter. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Make it up, make it up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So these are the same size rectangles, but I broke this one into how many pieces? And I broke this one into how many pieces? Good, but they're the same size overall. Their pieces are just different. Just like whenever we had the pizzas, and they're all the same size, but one was cut down the middle, and one was cut into like a Y shape, and one was cut into little triangles. This is just sliced differently. Now, I want to eat 2/5 of this chocolate bar. If I want to eat 2/5, how many pieces should I color in? Say that again. No, not all of them. So I want 2/5. So think of the first number, 2/5. 2, just like whenever we were having the pizza slices, it's the same thing. It just looks a little different. So I want 1, 2 of the 5 pieces. So I ate 2 pieces of chocolate out of 5. How many are left over? 3/5. Good. Now, I want to eat the same big chunk of chocolate, but this one is broken into smaller pieces. So how many pieces do I have to eat for it to be the same as the 2/5? Well, if I ate 2, that would mean I'd be only eating this much. Is that the same as up here? That would be this much. Is that the same? Half of 3. Is this the same as up here? No. So let's look. Remember, these are the same size. How many pieces do I have to eat to get this chunk? Yeah. Oh no, I want this whole chunk. 4. Good job. That was my fault. I guess I should have said that a bit better. All right. Let's try another one. How about that? Okay. Let's do this one. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4.
She had that. You try talking again, Sierra.
Okay.
Oh, wait, we heard you. You heard it? Yeah.
Ooh, no.
Sometimes it comes on later. I don't know why. Okay, that's awesome. Now, this is Marcy. Does she have access right away today?
Okay. So how many pieces are in this bar of chocolate? 6 pieces. So in a fraction form, that would be 6, 6, 1 whole, and we're looking at 6.
I wish you could get on right away, but she said by Wednesday you should get on.
All right, now what about down here? 3/3. Good. I like that you tacked on that at the end, and that's typically what we do. Thirds is just like that weird one that doesn't that doesn't like to fit in. It stands out. But good job tacking on that sound. All right. I want, how much chocolate do you think you could eat out of a chocolate bar this big? Looking at the first one. If I said, Venetia, here's a chocolate bar, have what you want. Would you eat 1 piece, 2, 3, 6? You'd eat 3? Oh, you have more self-control than I do. All right, you ate 3 pieces. So what would that look like in a fraction? 3, 6. Good. That's okay. I know it's tricky. It's different. It's okay. I'm less concerned about how you say it and more concerned about you understanding what we're getting to. And you get it. So it's okay if you don't say it correctly. You'll get it eventually. It's okay. So 3, 6. And what's another way we could say this? So we have 1, 2, 3 pieces. Good. Yes. It is also half. And there are ways that we can do some math to get from this to this if it were bigger and we couldn't eyeball it. But we're not going to get into that yet. That's like ways down the road. All right. Now, this is going to be tricky. Are you ready? Okay. So, I want to eat the same amount of chocolate that you did, but my chocolate bar is broken into 3 pieces instead of 6. So how many pieces of my chocolate bar do I have to eat the same amount that you did? Half of 2? So like this way? Very good. So that would be how many pieces out of 3? Roughly. So this is how many? And then this is half of 2. So 1, 1.5 out of 3. And what's another way that this could be said? You're on the right track. So what's 1 plus 1? Okay, and then what is 5 plus 5? And this is a decimal, so we carry that 1 over. So it's 2 plus 1, which is, so this could also be 1/2. Good, good. All right, good deal. You showed up to this, and you showed up as 2 days to finish your math testing, and it looks like you're working on Own It. I just checked you're 80% of the way done with Own It. That's awesome. Okay. So now we're going to see if fractions are equal, just like we were doing. So this one is, what is this? 1/2 is 1/2 equal to 4 seconds? No. So how we solve this is we take a look. How many times can 2, and how many times is that? 2. So 1/2 does not equal 2. So they are not equal fractions. Now how about
English, algebra, science,
1/3,
the only one that isn't is
and 2/6.
So, anyways, you're gonna go here. I'm just gonna click on Summit Learning Platform.
Yes, good. How?
And so when you first come in, see, I'm not logged into this, but it'll have like the view page, and
I see where you're going with that. Not quite, but that is a good guess. So what we do in this case, so you know how the last time we divided? This time we are going to multiply. So we take a look. This is 3 times blank equals 6. What goes in the blank?
yeah, so do that seem confusing? I know that could be a lot.
2. 3 times 2 is 6. And what we do to the bottom, we do to the top. So 1 times 2 is,
Just want to point your attention to this though. Projects are worth
You're good.
70% of your grade. The focus areas, which are like
yes, so that's how we get to 6. All right, now we're going to do another one.
And then the only way to get an A is to complete the additional focus areas, which again are the other templates.
What is that?
But so the way it works, and I'll show you because you're going to be in the model class. Right now, we are
6/12. Good, good.
So
Is that equal to half?
so you'll have every week with me in my class, you'll have my weekly instructional lesson and a summit checklist. So right now,
Yes. How do you know?
so this is what you'll do.
It is yes, you are right.
And here it is, and I tell you to walk you through, take a look at the little part too.
Now we're going to switch it. It's not times, it's
Yeah, and then there's only to read, do it, or watch, or like, okay, I want to
yeah. So whenever we're trying to get from a smaller number to a bigger number, we multiply because multiplying gives us bigger numbers. And whenever we're trying to get from a bigger number to a smaller number, we divide because division gets us smaller numbers. So 12 divided by what equals 2?
Now, for history, it's a lot of history and reading the old historical documents. Okay? So we click on this, and this one's just trying to get what is imperialism. We're looking at some, so you have some reading, some pictures, and so you're using these different documents.
Good. And what we do to the bottom, we good. So what is 6 divided by 6?
And then this is what you would answer. So how did imperialism impact people in imperialized countries? So just to give you an idea. Typical ones are usually, this one was on, oh no, this was my one.
No, whenever you divide a number by itself, it is always
So here, you're going to read this.
1.
Congo and
Good, good. All right, here's another.
You're looking at what is the legacy of imperialism.
Oh, really? You feel? Well, that's a good assumption.
You would read these documents. This is the one on Congo and Belgium. Then you would read this one in India and Britain. And you read through here. And then after you learn everything,
Is it?
then you go ahead and you answer the question. So you write a paragraph.
So we're trying to get from a smaller number to a bigger number. So what do we have to do?
All right, and then you got to get evidence from the reader.
Multiply.
So you paraphrase it.
We're fine. So 2 times what is 100?
But it's easier once you actually get in how to maneuver it. I just want you to see, like, just get familiar with it all, let's say,
You're close. You're close. So count by tens up to 100. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100.
Oh, you did this. Okay, good. All right, so. Okay. Oh, well, good. You're doing great. Yeah, good. This is what you'll see when you come on. You're going to see the week. And this is where we'd like you to put in bold.
Good. Now what do I do next?
This is the big one. Every time we meet,
So 50 times 1 is?
and I'll say, okay, I'm seeing greens, this is good here, this is good, but this seems to be pretty good. And I'll say, okay,
So
here, you know, I see this
is 1/2 equal to 50 over 100? Yes. Yeah, it is, silly. All right, let's try this one.
Okay. The green means the student completed something they were good. But you get assigned, after you complete each checkpoint, you get assigned green means that
All right, so we're going from a smaller number to a bigger number. So what do we have to do?
it means like they want your teacher wants to review, at least the way I do it, I want you to review your feedback and you can go ahead and move on.
To get from a small number to a big number?
You definitely have to stop and revise it before you can move on. So the checkpoints are basically
Multiply.
there are lessons you need to do.
So 4 times what is 12?
It's all building up though, the final product. Okay? So the final product, these circles with the numbers are the checkpoints.
No.
Your final product. Okay? This is what everything builds. If you learn how to gain information in it, these are the ones that are the major grades for each project. And we call these a project. The whole thing. Like this is a project on incorporating visualization. And then these are your final end products. The stars are the ones.
Okay. So think about 12 divided by 4. How many times can 4 go into 12? There you go. So any time that you can't remember the multiplication table, just reverse it. So use what you have. So we know that 4 into 12 is 3. Okay. So we have 4 times 3 is 12. What we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So 1 times 3 is what? Good. So are 3 and 4 equal? No. So that one's a big no. They are not equal fractions. All right, let's try one more. So 1/10 and 2/4. So 2/4. Think about our pizza pie. 2/4 is also what? Good. So would 1 piece out of 10 pieces be the same as half of a pizza? Would it? No. So this would be a half. And then is this the same as this? No, so they're not equal. It's okay. We're almost to like an hour of learning, so your brain's probably getting a little, and that's okay, because we're going to finish up. Let's take a quick look at decimals, and then we'll stop, and then come back to this tomorrow and work on it. And then how about on Wednesday, you try to come to you typically do come on Wednesdays to our 3rd grade learning lab on Zoom. Pop in on Thursday and we can go over it some more, okay? Okay. So, you do? Good, good, good. All right, so let me see here. So, mixed numbers. What is a mixed number?
the other thing that I want to remind you of, my class, the next year class is super simple. It's just
Say that one more time.
assignment. So you didn't have to do week 25, but you want it.
Kind of.
All
So
the
a mixed number is like when we have a fraction, let's say 18 over 12.
So Wednesday then, is my connection live.
So
That's the only live
typically our numerator is smaller than our denominator. But in this case, 18 is bigger than 12. So it's not a fraction that we can really use. So what we do is we make it a mixed number. So how many times does 12 fit into 18? 1. And then what's left over? What is 18 minus 12?
The only thing you technically get graded on is the poorly explained for 2 points, the elaborated the data for 6 points, and then the express is 2 points. So here's an example of what you had to do this week. You had to interview someone in your family, your mom, your dad, or brother, whoever who has a dog.
Close.
Or grandparent, whatever. Pick 5 groups.
Closer. 6. So then we have 6 left over it's okay. So it's over 12. So I want you to think about that one, okay? So think about mixed numbers. I'm going to stop this. All right, that's the end of our lesson. Please reach out with questions.